Miami has a huge pro day coming up. I want to get my thoughts on spring practice so far, and I think Mario Cristobal should accept Coach Prom's challenge. What's up, guys? Welcome to NBTV Canes. All Canes all day. If you're rocking with you, then you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button so you never miss out on a video. And big shout out to the Cane Gang, those who are part of the Cane Gang. I appreciate you guys so much for going above and beyond to support the channel. Now, today I want to talk about some Miami Hurricane news. Let's start with the Pro Day. Pro Day is going to look so beautiful for the Miami Hurricanes because we have a lot of players that's going to be participating. It's going to be good publicity for the program. It's going to be good publicity for Miami. I am excited. Now, Canesville, they put out this tweet. They said next Monday will be a pro day in Coral Gables. We haven't had this many NFL prospects that could be drafted in a while, led by potential #1 draft pick Cam Ward. What will Xavier Restrepo run in the 40? Which players still have something to show NFL scouts? We will give you the updates. And when you look at the list, Xavier Restrepo, Elijah Arroyo, Andres Borregales, Damian Martinez, Tyler Barron, Simon Barrow Jr., Sam Brown, Kiko, Jalen Rivers, Jacoby George. I am excited to see these guys work out and put on a show for these NFL scouts. And I do want to see what Xavier Restrepo runs. I do want to see how Cam Ward is going to throw. And I believe we're going to have so many cameras and scouts. It's going to look like a Miami Hurricane Pro Day should look. It was reported that the Pro Day will be on the ACC network, so I'm excited for it, okay? Now, Miami started back up their spring practice. We had a week of spring practice, then they went on spring break, and then they had spring practice number 4. And I just want to talk about some trending names, right? I just want to give my quick thoughts on a couple players. That I have 3 players to name, and this is more of barbershop talk. This isn't anything set in stone. This is just me listening to podcasts, me reading different articles, because I am not at the spring practice, and I just want to give my thoughts on things that I'm hearing and reading between the lines. So the first name that everybody's been bringing up is JoJo Trader, and I hope that the hype that is being put behind him, he lives up to it. And I think he can. I believe last year we saw a little bit of that in the Iowa State game. That man was ready to get in the end zone. He had the dance ready and everything. But we saw the speed, the explosiveness, and the route running. And we're going to need JoJo Trader to really have a great season if the wide receiving core stays like it is. I know some people think that we could go out and add another wide receiver via the transfer portal. We still got CJ Daniels, who's not participating in spring due to a lower body injury. But JoJo Trader seems to be putting in that work on spring practice. Everybody who's talking about Miami spring practice, a name that is brought up almost daily is JoJo Trader. So I'm definitely excited, and I hope that we continue to hear his name when we put on full pass, because they haven't been in full pass yet. Next, Emmanuel Carnley. Now, this is a guy who I'm definitely keeping my eye on, because when you have a corner who's 6'3", 185 pounds, you want him to work out. And I actually looked at him when he came to Miami as a boom or bust project. I think he's either going to be great for us or he could be meh. And just reading between the tea leaves, I wonder how good he has been doing in spring practice. There has been people mentioning the size, his frame, and how he's been able to move. But also when I'm hearing people talk about the wide receivers, they may say, oh, when so-and-so made a good catch, Carnley was on the coverage. And I've heard that a couple times to where I'm wondering how good of a spring is he having. Now, it's important to note, as I said about JoJo Trader, we don't have the full pads on. This is just barbershop talk, but he is a prospect, a transfer portal guy that I go out to see if anybody's going to mention him or bring him up. And I wonder how he's doing in spring practice. And the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to spring practice is Carson Beck. I believe every time we get video footage, it seems like he's doing a little bit more. First, he's going through the motions, the dropbacks. Then he's throwing with his opposite hand. And yesterday we had this video where he's tossing the ball on the ground. It just seems like every time the media releases a video of Carson Beck, it gives you a little bit more hope he's doing a little bit more. And Mario said he's farther along than they thought he would be. And according to these clips, he's doing a little bit more every day. So those are just some things that I've noticed from listening to the podcast, from reading the tea leaves. But hey, what do you guys think so far about some of these players I mentioned? And who are some players that I haven't mentioned? Or what are some things that you've noticed about spring practice so far with our Miami Hurricanes? Now, the last topic I want to talk about is Coach Prime. He said something that I have been wishing and hoping this program would do. He said this.
The last spring game, I don't believe in that. I don't really want to condone that. I would like to play the spring. Actually, I like to play against another team in the spring. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Now, after he said that he wanted Colorado to play somebody, Coach Fran Brown, he went to Twitter to say, hey, we can be in Boulder in 3 days. And I was thinking, I wish Miami would take on this challenge. I wish Miami would play a spring game where we play another team, where we practice with the team and then we play them in a scrimmage-like format. And here are my reasons why. First, I think it could be a great event. I'm selfish. I think I would love it. I think you as a fan would love it. But also, I think some recruits could love it. You know, you got Coach Prime. You know, he does it big time. We can bring the recruits. We can have a party and have a big scrimmage, Miami versus Colorado. The fans would love it. The recruits would love it. It would be a big event, I believe. Next, and their game is going to be on ESPN2. I don't know if we're going to have a scrimmage that's going to be televised or a spring game that's going to be televised. Most likely we will, but I don't know. I got to look up that information. Next, the reason I think that we should do this is because of Carson Beck's injury. When we have this spring game, what if our DBs look dominant, right? Our DBs look amazing. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to think. And this is going to be something that I bring up once we talk about scrimmages and things like that. I'm going to say, man, is our defensive backs, are they good because they're going up against our young quarterbacks? Our backup quarterbacks? Is that why they did good? That's going to be in the back of our mind, right? Or is our DBs doing good because they know basically all the offensive plays? That's going to be in the back of my mind. You know, with no Carson Beck, not only does that not show you the full potential of our wide receivers, I also believe that it can give us a little bit, we can be a little bit overconfident in our defense. And after the defense that we had last year, we cannot know exactly what we're putting on the field this year. So I believe if we played against another team, we're going to truly know how good our backup quarterbacks are, and we're going to truly know how our defense is going up against a number one quarterback. And look, of course, they wouldn't be going like it's the college football playoffs, but I feel like it would be more accurate than if we just did a scrimmage between ourselves. Now, those are why I want Miami to play Colorado or another team in the spring game. But, of course, the cons would be we don't want any injuries. The goal of any spring practice, the goal of any spring week, the goal of any scrimmage is the first goal is always get through that healthy. Always pray and hope nobody gets injured. And if you do that, you won the spring. If you can make it through spring with none of your top dogs getting injured, clap it up. That's always the goal in my eyes. And then the next goal is to get better, see who you got. So those are my pros. Those are my cons. But what do you think? Would you like to see Mario Cristobal versus Coach Prime, Miami versus Colorado spring game? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you being here. Peace.